Rejection. We've all dealt with some form of rejection in either our personal life, our career, or just in life in general. Today I want to talk about creative rejection and how to handle it and how not to let it bring you down. So if you're submitting your work to any publication or platform or magazine, etc., you have to understand that that's not the only magazine out there. If you get rejected by a magazine or, again, a platform, you have to understand there are smaller magazines or companies or platforms that you could reach out to that you'll have a more likelihood of getting an opportunity out of. You got to realize that there's other opportunities out there. There's not just the top 5 magazines out there, the top 5 platforms that give artists a big platform and make their art flip overnight and get thousands of followers. There's smaller platforms that could give you not the same leverage, but give you the same opportunity and give you leverage and have a higher chance of actually getting featured on their platform. So the first thing, when you get rejected, you gotta understand there's other opportunities out there. There's a lot more opportunities. You can't let you sending into one big magazine or platform tear you down from just not trying it again. And you gotta understand, there are thousands of people also submitting. There are millions of artists out there around the world. And especially when you're submitting to a big platform or network or etc., you're competing with a bunch of other people, thousands of people. Now if you're submitting to a smaller magazine, the amount of submissions goes down and the likelihood of you getting seen goes up. Right? So you gotta not take it to heart when you don't get accepted for the opportunity. So my second point is not taking it to heart, because again, there's so many people submitting it. The likelihood of them, if you're submitting it to a big magazine or platform, you have to understand there's tons of other people that also follow that account. Tons of other people who also are submitting their work just to get that opportunity as well. So the reality is, when you're submitting to a big publication, they might not even see your submission because there's so many submissions coming through that they'll go in order, and then they might find their top 50 to top 20 photos that they enjoy before they even get to your photo. They might really enjoy your photo, photo or art, but they might not even get the chance to see it, listen to it, whatever. There's a lot that people, I guess, don't have a deeper understanding on, but from my understanding at least, when a magazine has submit your ideas, submit your artwork, submit your movies, whatever, they have to pick a certain amount, top 50, top 10, whatever the amount is. And when you have that many submissions, they don't have time to go through every single one. So they might not even see your submission. So that's why I'm saying you can't take it to heart, because they might have not even seen your work. To reject you, they might have just, okay, we found our top 50, we're not gonna look through the other ones. And there's 2 ways you could tell they didn't take your submission. Either one, on the submission post, they'll repost it and say, this is our top 50 photographers or top 50 artists, for this submission contest thing. You'll see the post and you see you're not in it. Or I'm sure some publications do this, where they'll email you back saying hey, we didn't, you weren't able to make the cut, but don't worry, maybe next time you do. Maybe next time you send something again, we might feature you, etc. Just kind of an apology email. The thing is, again, they might not have seen it because there's so much influx of submissions coming through. So you gotta just not take it to heart. And on my final point is, don't let the rejection of that submission to publications, art, whatever, to people, whatever, any submission that you're doing, you're submitting something to somewhere, you're not getting the recognition that you think you deserve, don't let it stop you from creating. Because I feel like a lot of people stop themselves from creating things because they did not get into magazine XYZ or get into platforms, top 10 artist or photographer or videographer, whatever. You gotta let it, you just gotta take it and be like, okay, I'm gonna try even harder next time, or I'm gonna keep working and I'm gonna submit again next time they have something like this. You try to take it kind of as it happened and we move forward, and not so much as a rejection, like, hey, we don't like your work, stop sending it to us. I mean, unless they say that, then, you know what I mean, like, it's not anything personal. You shouldn't stop creating. Even if they say they don't like your stuff, that's just one publication. There are, again, thousands of magazines, thousands of publications, thousands of platforms where you could send your work into. Just because one said no doesn't mean the next 1,000 or 50 or 100 are going to say no as well. So with those tips, I hope this helps any creatives out there struggling with rejection. We're in the podcast there. Thank you everybody for listening. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and if you're on any of those, we're also available on YouTube, Talkie Podcast. And if you guys want any updates on the podcast, head over to talkiepodcast.com. And I shall see you guys next week. Thank you.